Somewhere along the way, a sizable portion of the American population looked at the basic social contract, the unwritten agreement that we all try to function like reasonable adults, and decided it was optional. Not inconvenient, not imperfect, optional. What you're about to witness is a carefully curated collection of moments where human beings, fully grown, presumably fed and sheltered, looked reality dead in the face and chose fiction. 49 of them. And I promise you, by the time we reach number 1, whatever faith you currently have in collective common sense will be on life support. You've been warned. Number 49. A woman walks into a grocery store, grabs a rotisserie chicken from the hot case, takes it home, eats approximately 70% of it over the course of 2 days, and then returns to the store demanding a full refund because, and I want you to sit with this, the chicken was too small. Not undercooked, not mislabeled, small. The chicken, the one she ate, was too small. The customer service representative, bless that person's soul, pointed out that the weight was printed directly on the label and matched the price paid. The woman's response was that she shouldn't have to read labels to know what she's getting. The chicken weighed exactly what it said it weighed. She simply wanted more chicken for the same price and believed a return policy was the mechanism for achieving that. Somewhere between the grocery store and her kitchen, personal accountability took a wrong turn and never came back. Number 48. A man calls his internet service provider to complain that his internet is slow. Reasonable start, relatable even. The technician walks him through basic diagnostics and asks how many devices are currently connected to his network. The man says he doesn't know, maybe a few. The technician checks remotely and finds 47 devices actively pulling bandwidth, smart bulbs, 3 TVs, 2 gaming consoles, a doorbell, a refrigerator, multiple laptops, several phones, a printer, and what appears to be a neighbor's PlayStation. The man's response is that he pays for internet, and therefore all those devices should run at full speed simultaneously. He wanted 47 lanes of traffic on a 2-lane road and was furious the cars weren't moving. He did not cancel a single device. He asked for a discount. Number 47. A couple visits a national park, one of this country's genuinely breathtaking landmarks, carved by millions of years of geological activity, and files a formal complaint with the Park Service. Their issue: the canyon was too deep. They couldn't see the bottom properly from the rim, and they felt this was a design flaw that made the park inaccessible. They suggested the park consider adding a viewing platform closer to the bottom, as if the Grand Canyon is a theme park that missed a memo from guest services. The canyon is a mile deep. It was not designed. No one is in charge of its depth. And yet there is a paper trail proving that 2 adults, in writing, asked the federal government to fix a canyon. Number 46. A woman posts a scathing 1-star review of a beach, not a beach resort, not a beach hotel. A beach, a public beach maintained by nature. Her complaint is that the sand was sandy, the water was wet, and that there were waves, which she describes as dangerous and unexpected. She also notes that the sun was too bright and that no one warned her. This beach has existed for thousands of years. The waves were there before her grandmother was born. The sun is 93 million miles away and has been operating at roughly the same brightness for 4 billion years, and somehow it caught this woman completely off guard. 1 star. Nature has received 1 star. Number 45. A man orders a large pizza and requests that it be cut into 6 slices instead of 8 because, and this is his exact reasoning, he's on a diet and can't eat 8 pieces. The pizza is the same pizza. The calories are identical regardless of how many lines you draw across it. This is not a loophole. This is not portion control. This is geometry being held responsible for nutritional outcomes. He was very pleased with himself for figuring this out. He told the person at the counter about it, like he'd discovered something. The person at the counter smiled and cut it into 6 pieces, because what else can you do when someone has outsmarted themselves this thoroughly? Number 44. A man buys a lawnmower, uses it for 3 summers, and then attempts to return it to the hardware store claiming it's defective because it requires gas. He insists he was never informed it ran on gasoline. The box said gasoline, powered. The manual said gasoline, powered. The engine has a fuel cap labeled gasoline. He mowed his lawn with it, successfully, for 3 years, filling it with gasoline each time, and it was not until year 4 that he decided this was a surprise. He wanted a full refund. He did not get a full refund. He did get a very long pause from the returns associate that communicated everything without using a single word. Number 43. A woman contacts her airline to complain that her flight arrived 15 minutes early. Not late early. Early by a quarter of an hour, which in the airline industry is basically a small miracle. Her complaint is that her ride hadn't arrived yet to pick her up and she had to wait at baggage claim. She feels the airline owes her compensation for delivering her safely, ahead of schedule, to her destination in a metal tube traveling at 500 miles an hour. She was there early, the flight worked, the pilot shaved time, and she wants money for it. There is no amount of customer service training that prepares you for the early arrival complaint. It shouldn't exist, and yet. Number 42. A man walks into a library, a public library, free to enter, free to use, sits down at a computer, uses it for 2 hours, prints 11 pages, checks out 3 books, and then complains to the librarian that the library is too quiet. He finds the silence oppressive. He wants background music. The librarian, maintaining the patience of someone who has genuinely seen everything, explains that libraries are traditionally quiet spaces. The man says that's an outdated stereotype. He left a voicemail for the city council about the library being quiet, the library that is free, that he used for 2 hours, and printed in, for free. Number 41. A woman returns a houseplant to a garden center 6 months after purchase because it died. She wants a replacement or a refund. When asked how she'd been caring for it, she explains that she watered it once when she bought it, and then forgot about it. The plant is dead because it received water once in 6 months. She does not believe this is her fault. She believes the plant should have found a way to communicate its needs more clearly, as if the drooping, yellowing, eventually completely brown and desiccated plant wasn't sending exactly that message the entire time. She had a dead plant in a pot for months. She kept it, she watered it once, and then she put it in her car and drove it back to the store. Remarkable commitment to not being responsible. Number 40. A contractor finishes renovating a man's kitchen, new cabinets, new countertops, new tile, new everything, completed on time and on budget. The man calls 3 weeks later to say he hates it. He doesn't say it's flawed. He doesn't say there are defects. He says he saw a different kitchen online that he likes better and wants the contractor to redo the entire job for free because he changed his mind. The contractor had signed contracts. The work was approved. The client signed off. The kitchen is perfect. He just wants a different kitchen now. He escalated this to a lawsuit that went nowhere, but not before he left a 1-star review explaining that the contractor refused to redo approved work without payment, which is just a description of how contractors work. Number 39. A woman complains to her gym that the treadmills are too tiring. She would like treadmills that provide a workout but require less effort. She elaborated, when pressed, that she felt sore after using them and believes that the resistance was set too high by default. The treadmills were set to flat, 0 incline, and she was walking. She wants a treadmill experience that feels like exercise but doesn't feel like exercise. She may have inadvertently described a chair. The gym comped her a personal training session. The trainer quit 2 weeks later. I'm not saying those events are connected, but. Number 38. A man writes a detailed letter to his city's public works department demanding they move a deer crossing sign. His reasoning is that too many deer are crossing the road in that particular spot, and by placing the sign there, the city is encouraging the deer to cross where it's dangerous. He believes the deer are reading the sign. He wants the sign moved somewhere safer so the deer will cross there instead. He is genuinely trying to redirect deer traffic using signage. The sign tells drivers to watch for deer. It has no effect whatsoever on deer behavior. The deer have never seen the sign. The deer do not know the sign exists. The deer were there before the sign. This man voted. He votes every election. Let that settle over you slowly. Number 37. A woman books a hotel room described as having a partial ocean view, pays the partial ocean view rate, and then complains upon arrival that the ocean view is only partial. She can see a sliver of ocean between 2 buildings. This is what partial means. This is the definition of the word used to describe the room she booked. She asks to be upgraded to a full ocean view room at the partial ocean view rate because she feels the word partial is misleading. The front desk agent, choosing survival, explains what the word partial means. The woman asks to speak to someone who can override the dictionary. Number 36. A man purchases a 55-inch television, takes it home, sets it up in a room that is 8 feet wide, sits 4 feet from the screen, and then contacts the manufacturer to complain that the picture is too big and makes him feel dizzy. The recommended viewing distance for a 55-inch TV is somewhere between 7 and 11 feet. He is sitting 4 feet away. He is essentially sitting inside the television. He wants a refund because the television is too large, but he will not consider either a smaller TV or a larger room. He wants this TV in this room, at this distance, and for the dizziness to resolve itself. He gave it 2 stars. One of the stars was for the remote. Number 35. A woman calls her local weather service, the actual National Weather Service, to complain that the forecast was wrong. She had planned an outdoor event based on a sunny forecast and it rained. This is frustrating, genuinely. But her solution is that she wants a refund for the weather. Not from an event planner. Not from an insurance policy. From the weather service. For the weather. She wants financial compensation for inaccurate weather. The National Weather Service is a government agency that provides forecasts as public information and charges nothing. There is nothing to refund. The weather itself owes her nothing. She held on the line for 40 minutes to make this point. The representative was very gracious about the fact that they do not control rain. Number 34. A man joins a gym in January, as one does, goes twice, doesn't return for 10 months, and then calls in December to cancel, shocked to discover he's been paying a monthly membership fee for 10 months. He did not cancel. He simply stopped going. He wants 10 months of fees returned because he wasn't using the facility. The gym was available to him the entire time. The equipment was there. The staff was there. The building did not cease to exist because he decided to stop showing up. He argues that the gym should have noticed he wasn't coming and reached out. And here's the thing, some gyms actually do that. Most people find it intrusive. He wants both proactive outreach and money back. He is aware of no contradiction. Number 33. A tourist visits New York City for the first time, stays in Midtown, and leaves a scathing review complaining that the city is too crowded and too noisy. Times Square is too bright. The subway smells. There are too many people. She wanted a quieter, more relaxed New York experience. She is describing a completely different city. New York City has 8 million people in 300 square miles. It has been loud since before this woman's country of origin existed in its current form. She booked the most famous intersection on Earth, and was surprised it was famous. She gave Manhattan 2 stars and suggested it consider becoming more like a small town. Manhattan has declined to take this under advisement. Number 32. A man takes his car to a mechanic because the engine is making a noise. The mechanic diagnoses the problem, explains what needs to be repaired, and gives a quote. The man says he wants the noise fixed, not whatever the mechanic is describing. He wants the mechanic to make the noise stop without replacing the part that is making the noise. The mechanic tries to explain that the noise is a symptom of the broken part. The man says that sounds like the mechanic is just trying to sell him parts. The noise is the part. The part is broken. The noise will not stop if the part is not fixed. He went to 3 more mechanics. All 3 told him the same thing. He found a 4th who said what he wanted to hear. He called the first 3 scammers online. The car broke down 6 weeks later. Number 31. A woman complains to her local school board that the school day is too long and is exhausting her child. The school day runs from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, 7 hours, standard across most of the country. She wants it shortened to 4 hours so her child has more time to decompress. When a board member gently notes that this would significantly reduce instructional time, she says her child can learn the rest online and that 4 hours is plenty. She has strong opinions about education. She has not asked her child what they prefer. Her child is 9 and would like to learn to read more fluently. These 2 goals are, in fact, compatible. Number 30. This is where things start getting a little harder to process, so prepare yourself. A man files a formal complaint with a restaurant because his meal gave him a stomachache. Reasonable enough, except the meal he ordered was described on the menu as spicy. Explicitly, in the name, it contained the word fairy, a chili pepper symbol, and a small warning note at the bottom of the menu. He ordered it anyway. It was spicy. His stomach disagreed. He wants a refund, a written apology from the chef, and for the restaurant to remove the dish from the menu so no one else suffers. He is attempting to remove a menu item that warned him, using every available warning method, that it would do exactly what it did. The restaurant sent him a polite letter. He posted it online as evidence of negligence. Number 29. A woman buys a candle, burns it, and complains that it ran out. She lit it, repeatedly, for months, until it was gone. She is upset that the candle, a consumable product designed to be consumed, was consumed. She wants a replacement candle at no charge because the candle did not last forever. No candle lasts forever. Candles, by definition, exist to become not candles. She has been burning candles her entire adult life, and this is apparently the first time she has considered where they go. She was told by the company, very kindly, that candles are not designed for permanent use. She responded that that should be disclosed more clearly on the candle, which she lit, until it was gone. Number 28. A man purchases a house, moves in, and then discovers that the neighborhood has neighbors. He knew the neighborhood had houses. He saw the houses during the showing. He simply did not anticipate that those houses would contain people who occasionally make noise, mow lawns, have deliveries, own dogs, and exist in proximity. He writes a letter to his HOA requesting that the neighbors be required to go inside after 8 p.m. He wants a residential neighborhood to have a curfew for adults in their own homes. He is now on the HOA board. He ran unopposed because no one else wanted the position. He is enforcing parking rules with a fervor that suggests he was always going to end up here. Number 27. A woman calls a pharmacy to ask if a medication has side effects. The pharmacist explains that yes, like all medications, this one has a list of potential side effects, which are listed on the pamphlet inside the box. The woman says she doesn't want side effects. The pharmacist explains their potential, not guaranteed, and explains the risk-benefit conversation she should have with her doctor. The woman says she wants the version without side effects. There is no version without side effects. The pharmacist explains this. The woman asks to speak to a pharmacist. She is speaking to a pharmacist. She asks if there's a more senior pharmacist. The most senior pharmacist says the same thing. She leaves a review saying the pharmacy was unhelpful and refused to answer her questions. They answered every question. She did not like the answers. These are different problems. Number 26. A man goes to a hair salon, shows the stylist a photo of a hairstyle he wants, sits in the chair for 45 minutes, and then at the end says the result doesn't look like the photo. The stylist points out that the photo shows a man with completely different hair texture, color, and volume. The result is the best achievable approximation for the hair that was actually present on this man's head. He wants the result of a different person's genetics. He asked for a redo. He was told the same constraints apply. He left without tipping, wrote a review, and included the original photo as evidence. The photo remains evidence only that he wanted someone else's hair. Number 25. A woman contacts her utility company to dispute her electric bill, which has increased because she added a hot tub, a second refrigerator, an electric vehicle charging station, and 12 new smart home devices over the past year. She wants the bill investigated for fraud. The utility company sends someone to review the meter. The meter is fine. She added significant electrical load to her home, and is surprised the bill reflects that. She wants the same bill she had before: the hot tub, the second fridge, the car charger, and 12 devices. She wants the electricity. She does not want to pay for the electricity. These are, unfortunately, bundled. Number 24. A man attends a concert, pays for general admission floor tickets, and then complains that the people in front of him are blocking his view. General admission means no assigned seats. It means you stand where you stand. The people in front of him also bought tickets. They are also allowed to stand there. He escalated to venue security, who explained general admission to him. He escalated to the artist management somehow. He posted online that the venue committed fraud. General admission has meant general admission since the concept was invented. He knew this when he bought the ticket. He just assumed it would apply to everyone except him. Number 23. A woman submits a complaint to her city council about a tree in the public park near her house. Her complaint is that the tree drops leaves in the fall. She wants the city to remove the tree or mandate that it stop dropping leaves. She is describing deciduous trees in autumn. She would like the city to intervene in photosynthesis. The tree is 60 years old. It has been dropping leaves for 60 autumns. She moved in 4 years ago. The tree did not change its behavior. She would like the city to choose between her and the tree. The city chose the tree. She is still filing complaints. The tree for its part dropped its leaves again this October, right on schedule, with no apparent awareness of the conflict. Number 22. A man buys a blender described as powerful enough to blend frozen fruit, uses it to try to blend ice, rocks, and what appears from the service call notes to be a whole frozen chicken breast, and then returns it claiming it's not powerful enough. A blender is designed to blend blendable things at blendable sizes. He treated it like an industrial crusher. The blades survived longer than they deserved to. He wanted a replacement blender. He received a pamphlet on what blenders are for. He found this insulting. It was not meant to be insulting. It was meant to prevent the destruction of another blender. It did not work. He is on his 4th blender. He is still putting things in blenders that should not go in blenders. He will outlast every blender he ever buys. Number 21. A woman signs up for a book club, attends twice, doesn't read any of the books, and then quits and writes a complaint to the organizer that the books are too long and the discussions assume you've read them. The book club is premised on reading books and discussing them. She joined a book club that reads books and is upset that it reads books. She wanted the literary conversation and social connection of a book club without the reading component, which is, and I want to be precise here, just a social gathering. She suggested the club pivot to discussing movies instead. The book club remained a book club. She described this as a lack of adaptability. Number 20. We are halfway through, and I need you to know, it gets so much worse from here. A man contacts a nature documentary streaming service to complain that the animals in the documentaries die. He finds it upsetting and wants trigger warnings before any episode in which an animal does not survive. He also wants the option to watch an alternate cut in which all the animals survive. He is requesting a nature documentary in which nature does not occur. The predators would stand down. The prey would scatter peacefully. The ecosystem would resolve itself through mutual agreement. He described his request as a small ask. The streaming service's response did not include an alternate cut. He rated the service 1 star and stated that it glorifies violence. The lion does not know he feels this way. Number 19. A woman hires a professional photographer for her wedding, receives 300 edited photographs, and complains that none of them are her favorite photo, a blurry, poorly lit shot she took herself on her phone that she loves because of the memory it represents. She wants the photographer to somehow recreate this shot professionally or edit all 300 photos to look like her phone picture. The photographer's 300 professional shots are technically superb. She prefers the blurry one because it's hers. This is completely understandable emotionally. What is less understandable is demanding the professional retroactively become worse to match the amateur. She disputed the payment. The photographer kept the deposit. She still posts the blurry phone photo as her anniversary picture every year, which is actually quite sweet despite everything. Number 18. A man moves to a neighborhood near an airport, buys a house directly under the flight path, a fact disclosed in the listing, visible on any map, audible during the showing, and then files a noise complaint with the airport asking them to redirect flight paths away from his house. The airport has been there for decades. The flight paths are regulated by Federal Airspace Authority. They cannot redirect commercial aviation because one man bought a house in the loudest possible location and found it loud. He hired a lawyer. The lawyer explained federal airspace jurisdiction. He hired a different lawyer. That lawyer said the same thing. He now has noise-canceling windows, which work well, and which he could have purchased before engaging 2 lawyers, but here we are. Number 17. A woman goes to a 5-star restaurant, orders the chef's tasting menu, an 11-course progressive dinner curated by a Michelin-recognized chef, and complains that she didn't get to pick what she ate. The tasting menu is defined, in every restaurant that offers one, as a set menu chosen by the chef. It says so on the menu. It is the entire premise. The chef selects the courses. You experience them. She wanted the prestige and presentation of a chef's tasting menu, while also dictating every course herself, which is called ordering de la carte, which was also available. She wanted both simultaneously. She felt the chef was being controlling. The chef, behind a kitchen door, was doing his job. She left a review saying she felt her preferences weren't respected. Her preference was to not eat the tasting menu. That preference was available to her at all times. Number 16. A man calls his bank to complain that he overdrafted his account. His complaint is not about the fee, that's a separate thing. His complaint is that the bank allowed the transaction to go through when he had insufficient funds. He wants to know why the bank didn't stop him. The bank tries to explain overdraft protection and the opt-in nature of its services. He says the bank should have just declined the charge. It can do that. It's a setting. He could have enabled it. He didn't. He now wants the bank to be more paternalistic about his spending while simultaneously, in the same call, complaining that banks are too controlling. He wants them to stop him from overspending unless he decides to overspend, in which case he wants them to allow it. He wants a bank that knows his intentions better than he does. This bank is not available. Number 15. A woman complains to a national park service that the hiking trail was difficult. She chose an advanced trail. It was labeled advanced. She had to climb things. She had to breathe hard. There was dirt. Her shoes got muddy. She wants the trail reclassified so people know it's hard. It is classified as hard. She wants it made easier. The trail is a mountain. She wants the National Park Service to grade a mountain, not metaphorically. Physically flatten portions of a protected wilderness trail so that it requires less effort. She sickied her congressman on the email. Her congressman did not respond. The mountain did not respond. The mountain is still the mountain. It will be the mountain long after everyone involved in this complaint has returned to the earth from which all mountains are eventually made. Number 14. A man buys a lottery ticket every week for 15 years and never wins anything significant. He contacts the lottery commission to complain that the system is unfair, and that he deserves compensation for his sustained participation. He has been playing a game of chance for 15 years without winning, and believes that longevity should translate to reward. He argues that brand loyalty should be acknowledged. He is not a customer of a product. He is a participant in a randomized probability exercise. The lottery commission sent him a brochure about responsible gaming. He found this condescending. He kept buying tickets. He believes the next one will be different. In 15 years, none of them have been different. He is optimistic. You have to respect the optimism, even if nothing else about this is respectable. Number 13. A woman returns a mattress after sleeping on it for 11 months claiming it's not as comfortable as the showroom mattress. The showroom mattress is a display unit that no one has slept on and has therefore not compressed or worn in any way. She wants it replaced with a mattress that will always feel like a showroom mattress, which means she wants a mattress no one has ever slept on, which means she wants to sleep on a mattress she cannot have slept on yet. She has identified a paradox and is trying to make it the mattress company's problem. The company offered a reasonable compromise. She declined. She is currently sleeping on the 11-month-old mattress, finding it uncomfortable, and planning her next return. Number 12. A man contacts his local fire department, not during an emergency, a follow-up administrative call, to ask why they couldn't save more of his house during a fire. The house fire was caused by a grill he left unattended inside his garage. The department responded quickly. They saved 2/3 of the structure. He considers this a substandard performance. He wants to know what the department plans to do differently next time. The fire chief, with a restraint that deserves its own award, explained fire behavior, response time, and the accelerant effect of storing a propane grill indoors. The man felt this was deflection. He submitted a formal performance review of the fire department. The fire department, for its part, returned to saving lives and not receiving performance reviews from the people whose choices created the fires. Number 11. A woman signs a year-long lease on an apartment, moves in, and 3 months later decides she wants to leave. She contacts the property manager to explain that she has changed her mind about wanting to live there, and expects to be released from the lease without penalty because, in her words, her feelings have changed. The lease is a legal document. Her feelings are not a lease-breaking clause. She was offered a subletting option. She found this inconvenient. She was informed of early termination fees. She found this punitive. She wanted a lease that binds the landlord but releases her whenever she changes her mind, which is not a lease but rather a very favorable living arrangement for one party. She posted that the landlord was inflexible. The landlord had a signed document. The signed document was inflexible. Number 10. We're in the top 10. The earlier complaints are starting to seem quaint. A man purchases a telescope, points it at the moon, and contacts the manufacturer to report that the moon has craters and imperfections visible through the lens, and he finds this distressing. He thought the moon would look smoother and more majestic. The moon has been covered in craters for approximately 4 billion years. It has never been smooth. It will never be smooth. Every photograph, painting, poem, and scientific document in human history depicts a cratered moon. He saw the moon for the first time, really saw it, and found it disappointing. He wanted a refund because the universe failed to meet his aesthetic expectations. The manufacturer, to their eternal credit, replied that the telescope was working correctly. He gave it 3 stars. He wanted 5 stars worth of moon. Number 9. A woman calls a zoo a literal zoological park to complain that the animals smell. She is in a zoo. She is surrounded by living animals. Animals have a smell. This is one of approximately 300 things that should be obvious about zoos. She wants the zoo to do something about the odor. The zoo has animals. The animals produce the odor. The solution to zoo smell is fewer zoo animals, which creates a different type of zoo, sometimes called a park. She specifically complained about the elephant exhibit. Elephants are large. They have a corresponding presence. She stood near the elephants voluntarily and was surprised by the reality of elephants. She paid for this experience. She wants partial credit. Number 8. A man calls a library. We return to the library, this time to complain that the books are old. Many of the books in the library were published in previous decades. He wants newer books. This is a reasonable request, actually, but here's where it goes wrong. When the librarian explains the acquisition budget and the process for requesting new titles, he says he wants the old books removed to make room for newer ones, and also wants the library to stop buying physical books, because digital is the future, and also wants the library to remain a physical space with physical books, because screens are bad for children. He wants a library with new books but no old books, and no screens and also no books. He has rendered the library conceptually impossible and is dissatisfied with its inability to resolve that. Number 7. A woman hires a personal trainer for a 3-month fitness program, attends 4 of the scheduled sessions, ignores all nutritional guidance, and at the end of 3 months is upset that she hasn't seen results. She did the math and calculated that she had paid for 12 sessions, attended 4, and received none of the results. The trainer points out, gently, that attendance and adherence are part of the program. She says she shouldn't have to show up to get results, that the trainer should have a method that works around her schedule. She wanted fitness outcomes without the fitness. She wants a result generated by a process she did not participate in. She's now looking for a different trainer. The next trainer will also, at some point, suggest she attend sessions. Number 6. A man goes to a doctor, is diagnosed with a condition, is given a treatment plan, and then returns 3 weeks later furious because the treatment is treating his condition but causing mild inconvenience. The treatment is working. His numbers have improved. His doctor is satisfied with his progress. But the medication has a minor side effect he dislikes. He wants to stop the treatment that is working and have the condition resolve itself. His doctor explains that the condition does not resolve itself, which is why there is treatment. He wants to negotiate with his own biology. He wants his body to do the thing it was doing wrong more correctly without any intervention. He has since found a podcast that agrees with him. His doctor has noted the podcast in his chart with an expression that did not require words. Number 5. Top 5. A woman books a tropical vacation to a destination that has a documented, predictable, annual rainy season. The rainy season dates are in every travel guide, on every booking website, visible during the booking process. She books during the rainy season. It rains. She demands a full refund from the resort, the travel agency, the airline, and the tourism board of the country, which is a government entity that also does not owe her a refund for its weather. She sends a certified letter to the tourism board. She is a private citizen sending a certified letter to a foreign government's tourism office, asking for money because it rained during the rain. She received a brochure about the best time to visit. She did not consider this responsive to her certified letter. She is preparing a follow-up certified letter. Number 4. A man moves next to a farm, rural property adjacent to working agricultural land, which has been operating as a farm for over a century. He knew it was a farm. He could see the farm. He then complains to county officials that the farm smells, makes noise in the early morning, has large equipment, and that the rooster begins crowing before he wants to wake up. He wants the farm to change its operating hours. The farm operates during farming hours because it is a farm and farming has hours determined by agriculture, not by the preferences of the man who moved next to it. He filed multiple complaints. The county has right to farm laws. The farm predated him by 100 years. The rooster did not adjust its schedule. The rooster, in fact, has been consistent every morning, which is actually one of the most reliable things in that county, and he still finds it unacceptable. Number 3. A woman purchases a snow globe, a decorative glass orb filled with water, fake snow, and a small figurine, and contacts the manufacturer several months later to report that the snow inside has settled at the bottom and is no longer distributed throughout the globe. She wants it fixed under warranty. She would like to have the snow inside her snow globe reinvigorated. The snow is at the bottom because she is not shaking the snow globe. The snow globe was designed to be shaken. This is the entire mechanism of the snow globe. You shake it, the snow rises, it falls. You shake it again. She did not know to shake it. No one told her. She has had this snow globe for months, watched the snow settle, and concluded that the product was defective rather than stationary. She shook it once after the manufacturer explained this. She described the experience as fine. She gave it 4 stars. 1 star deducted for initial confusion which she caused. Number 2. I need you to prepare yourself, because this one crosses the threshold from stupidity into something almost philosophical. A man purchases a mirror, hangs it in his home, and then submits a formal product complaint because every time he looks into it, it shows him his reflection. He finds his own appearance upsetting first thing in the morning, and believes the mirror is being cruel. He wants a mirror that shows a more flattering version of him. He is not asking for a trick mirror, a specialty product, or an edited display. He is asking for a magic mirror. He wants the laws of optics to be overridden by his self-image. He wants to look into a reflective surface and see something that is not there. This is not a mirror problem. No mirror company in existence can help this man, and yet he tried 3 of them before concluding the industry was inadequate. And number 1. The best for last, in the worst possible way. A man discovers that time is passing. He is aging. His birthdays keep occurring. He did not consent to this. He contacts no one specifically, because there is no one to contact, but he makes his feelings known extensively, to family, to his doctor, to anyone who will listen, that he objects to the rate at which years are going by, and that he believes something should be done. He is not speaking metaphorically about mortality. He is not processing existential grief, which would be deeply human and understandable. He is lodging a complaint about time, about the fundamental structure of the physical universe. He wants slower years. He wants to stop getting older. And he wants someone to be accountable for the fact that no one has fixed this yet. He is outraged that it remains unresolved. He has been outraged about this for at least 15 years. Time, as usual, has continued without addressing his concerns. And that's where we leave it. 49 people. Each of them utterly certain. Each of them armed with a complaint, and the confidence that somewhere out there is a person, a company, a government, a law of physics, or an entire ecosystem that owes them something for the basic experience of existing in a world that does not tailor itself to individual expectations. The remarkable thing isn't that these people exist. The remarkable thing is how many of them found a customer service line, a comment box, or a certified mail form and decided that was the appropriate venue for their war with reality. Common sense, it turns out, is not common. It is rare. It is a resource. And based on the evidence presented here today, it may be running out. So here is my question for you: of everything you just witnessed, which one do you think best represents the pinnacle of human self-delusion? Leave it in the comments. I genuinely want to know what broke you. And if this video made you feel at least marginally more reasonable than you did at the start, which it should have, because the bar has just been significantly clarified, hit like and subscribe. We're only getting started.